Yes. Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome back to the Bhagavad Gita Study Circle. And we are in 126th session of the Bhagavad Gita Study Circle. And we are discussing chapter 11, the Vishwarupa Darshana. And we have covered about 42 verses. And today we are going to start from 43rd verse. So there are some very nice things that we have discussed about the universal form, the Vishwarupa. And Krishna has very nicely shown this amazing Rupa, this amazing form to Arjuna because Arjuna wanted to see. And we have also seen the different expressions that Arjuna has gone through by after seeing this beautiful form, this Vishwarupa Darshana. So there are some very, very interesting things that Arjuna has seen. And because of Arjuna, we could actually get the glimpse of what is universal form. Because if not for Arjuna, it would have been so difficult for all of us to actually understand what is this universal form. We could have just imagined, but because Arjuna is describing the various aspects of the universal form, we are at least able to understand that yes, this is how it looks. We can at least get an idea of what is this universal form, right? So that is how we have discussed few things, but we will. Before we begin, let us also chant the pranam mantras. We also have Lakshmi Srinivasan Mataji joining us on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining. So let us chant the pranam mantras. It will be displayed on the screen and you can all join your palms and chant along with me. Let's dedicate this session to His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, the founder Acharya of ISKCON and my beloved spiritual master. So kindly join your palms and let's chant the pranam mantras along with me. नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः. Hare Krishna. So in the previous verse of this chapter, we have been discussing in detail about the universal form. There are so many different aspects of the universal form. And in the last session, we had discussed about the verse number 41 and 42. And 41 and 42, it's a very, very nice, very beautiful verse where Arjuna has explained certain things to um, he's the way he's addressing Krishna, his mood has slightly changed, and he is now saying, "Very sakheti matva prasabham yaduktam, Hey Krishna, Hey Yadava, Hey Sakheti." So it's a very beautiful way of addressing Krishna in a friendly way, and he, out of this relationship of friendship, Arjuna has expressed some ways of, the way he has expressed to uh, calling out Krishna in different ways. So now, these are some very interesting things that we should know. Why is he calling Krishna as Yadava? Because Yadava means he's coming in Yadu dynasty, right? So Krishna has come in Yadu dynasty, and that is why he is an Yadava. And Arjuna was thinking that the Pandavas are more superior to Krishna. So, all these days, until he actually saw this universal form, Arjuna was thinking that he is much, much superior warrior, a Kshatriya, than Krishna. Because Yadavas are okay, they are also Kshatriyas, but he was thinking that, oh, we are from the Kuru Vansha and we are more superior. Now, that's why he was calling, oh, Yadava. He was addressing the Supreme Lord as Yadava. That was his mood. He was thinking that he is more superior than Krishna. Now, he is also very nicely stating there that actually Maya Prabhadat Pranayena Vapi is saying that, oh Krishna, I called you as Yadava, a Sakha. All this is only because of madness, or it could have been love also. It may be madness, it may be love. This is why I was calling you by your names as Yadava, a Sakheti, as my friend. So the rasa has changed. The mood of Arjuna has changed. Why? Because he was in friendship. Then from friendship, he moved to a very astonishing feature. Then the mood changed to fear. The rasa is constantly changing. But this is not the case in Vrindavan, because the Vrindavan Sakhas, the friends of Krishna in Vrindavan, in Brajabhumi, they are totally different. They don't deal with Krishna in this way. Their mood doesn't change at all. They are fixed. That Sakhya Bhava is very different, because they defeat Krishna, they tease Krishna there. In Vrajabhumi, the Sakhya Bhava is very different. They they are very different compared to Arjuna. The friends of Vraja are very different when compared to Arjuna. When we all remember this, when Kamsa invited Krishna and Balram to Mathura for the wrestling match. Krishna and Balram, they went to Mathura and they were in that wrestling match, in that arena where there was supposed to be a very, very powerful wrestling match between Chanur and Mustik. And Chanur and Mustik were the most powerful wrestlers during the time. Very, very powerful. They both were brothers and not ordinary at all, extremely powerful. So, Chanur and Mustik, who were supposed to be, the topmost, the highest category, the strongest wrestlers of Kamsa, they were actually fighting with Krishna and Balram, both of them. And they got so badly defeated by Krishna and Balram, not just defeated, they were actually killed by Krishna and Balram. And in that fighting arena, when both these Krishna and Balram, they fought with Chanur Mustik, they defeated them, they killed them. And then Krishna is calling his friends, hey, my friend, my dear friend, you come to the arena. And all these friends, they're jumping into the wrestling arena. And now Krishna is wrestling with his friends. And there, when both these Krishna and his friends, they are fighting and wrestling, Krishna gets defeated by his friends. And there Kamsa is totally bewildered. He's thinking, what are these kids doing? You know, I have such powerful wrestlers. Krishna defeated them, and here he's getting defeated by these simple boys, coward boys. Kamsa is totally confused. That is the state of Kamsa. This is how the Sakhya of Vrajabhumi, the friendship in Vrajabhumi, is very different compared to the friendship of Arjuna. The dealings of the friends in Vraja is totally very different, right? So that Vrajabhumi Sakhya, the friendship is called Vishrambhya Sakhya. Vishrambhya Sakhya means that friendship which has no mixture of any other bhava other than Sakhya. It's total pure friendship. That is Vishrambya Sakhya of Vrajalila, of Vrajabhumi. But whereas Arjuna Sakhya, it is Gaurava Sakhya. Gaurava Sakhya means it is a friendship with a lot of respect. right now, of course, it has come to that level of respect. Gaurava Sakhya it is. You always need to give some certain respect to your friend. It is that kind of a friendship. There is friendship, but there is a little bit of element of respect in that. But in the case of Rajabhumi, there is no question of respect. They don't respect only. They don't respect Krishna at all. They tease him, they pull his legs, what not they do. They take butter and they throw on his face. There is no question of respect there in Rajabhumi. That friendship is very, very intimate friendship between Krishna and his friends. But here, Arjuna's friendship is Gaurava Sakya. Now, you may be thinking, Prabhu, maybe mine is, I have that Vishrambe Sakya, or maybe no, mine is Gaurava Sakya. No, nothing. We don't even understand what is Sakya. We are not at the level of, or not in the position of becoming a friend of Krishna as of now. We have not reached that level of Sakya yet. We can, but we have not reached that level of Sakya. So, that we need to, it's a very exalted position. To be a friend of Krishna is not an ordinary thing. Just to be a friend of a prime minister is not an ordinary thing. Not everyone can become his friend, right? So now we are talking about Krishna, who is the supreme prime minister of the whole universe. So it is not so easy to become his friend. So, and that to an intimate friend, it's not so easy, right? So he is saying here that I jokingly, I have called you, Hey Krishna, Hey Yadava, Hey Saketi. So I have called you all these different names, but then I have called you jokingly, not just in personal space, but also in before so many others. I have called you very jokingly, and sometimes very rashly. I have called you by names. So there can be a little bit of banter between the friends that is accepted. But Arjuna is feeling a little bit of guilt here, and that's why he's saying here that uh, please forgive me. He's saying that tat kshamaye tvam aham aprameyam. He's saying, oh aprameya, please tat kshamaye, please forgive me. That was his mood, that was his state of mind. So very, very special way of dealing that Arjuna has with Krishna. And after asking for forgiveness, why Krishna should forgive? Why should Krishna forgive Arjuna? He's asking for forgiveness, but there should also be a reason for forgiveness, right? So that is explained in today's verse, that is 43rd verse. So Hina Mataji, you can unmute yourself and let's chant the verse for today, that is 43rd verse. Right? So पितासि लोकस्य चराचरस्य
पितासि लोकस्य चराचरस्य
त्वमस्य पूज्यस्य गुरुर्गरीयान्
त्वमस्य पूज्यस्य गुरुर्गरीया
न त्वत्समोऽस्ति अभ्यधिककुतोऽन्यो
न त्वत्समोत्सि अभ्यधिक्य कुतोऽन्यो
लोकत्रयेऽपि अप्रतिमा प्रभाव.
लोकत्रयेऽपि अप्रतिमा प्रभावा
Once again, पितासि लोकस्य चराचरस्य
पीतासि लोकस्य चराचरस्य
त्वमस्य पूज्यश्च गुरुर्गरीयान्
त्वमस्य पूज्यश्च गुरुर्गरीया
न त्वत्समोऽस्ति अभ्यधिककुतोऽन्यो
न त्वत्समोऽस्ति अभेदिक्य कुतोऽन्यो
लोकत्रयेऽपि अप्रतिमा प्रभाव.
लोकत्रयेऽपि अप्रतिमा प्रभावा.
Wonderful. Please read the translation.
You are the father of this complete cosmic manifestation of the moving and the non-moving. You are its worshipable chief, the supreme spiritual master. No one is greater than you, nor can anyone be one with you. How can then how then could there be anyone greater than you within the three worlds, O Lord of the immeasurable power? Hare Krishna.
So nice. This is actually saying that addressing Arjuna is now addressing. Why Krishna has to forgive? Because here he's addressing is, oh, you are the father of the complete cosmic manifestation. So he's calling out here Krishna as father of all that is moving and non-moving. And you are also worshipable. You are also very worshipable. You know, Krishna is Aham Bija Pratapitaha. He is the supreme personality of Godhead. You know, a father is always worshipable for his son, right? For any son, father is supposed to be a worshipable personality, and fathers are there in that position because why? They have given birth to us, right? They have given life to us, so they are worshipable. So Krishna is the father of everyone because he has given life to each one of us, and he's not just father of the moving thing but also the non-moving things like the plants and the trees. They are non-moving, but still they have a father, and that father is Krishna. So he's also saying is aprameya, you are immeasurable. Now forget about somebody being equal to you, forget about somebody being greater than you. There is no one who is also equal to you. But I was so foolish, O Krishna, I considered you as an ordinary Yadava. That was my foolishness, that I was thinking that you are just an ordinary Yadava and I called you Yadava, but you are not like that. You are actually, no one is equal to you. I was thinking I'm superior. Forget about superior. I'm not even equal to you. That is Arjuna's mood now. And that is why he's saying, please forgive me as your child. That's why he's calling out Krishna as father, because a father generally, he forgives his son or children because they are prone to do certain mistakes, and father naturally out of love and affection he actually forgives his children, right? So similarly he is addressing here Krishna as father because he's saying, oh please forgive me because I'm your son, please forgive me for that. And also he's also stating here that you are a guru, you are also a spiritual master, you are a worshipable chief. Why? Krishna is in fact the original spiritual master because the first Vedic instructions was given to Brahma by Krishna, right? When Krishna was born, when Brahma was born out of the navel of the Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, the first recipient, the very first being in the universe, received knowledge from the Lord Himself directly. And because he received that knowledge, what happened? Krishna is the supreme spiritual master. He is the original spiritual master. Krishnam Vande Jagat Gurum. We all know that how Krishna is one day, he is the only supreme spiritual master. And right now, in this instance, he is also a spiritual master because he is directly instructing the Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. So he is the spiritual master of Arjuna. And Arjuna has submitted himself as a Shishya. Shishyasteham Shadimam Tvam Prapannam, right? So, therefore, actually, Krishna is the original spiritual master of everyone. And we are coming in that parampara. We are coming in that parampara where Krishna is the original supreme master. And in that lineage of Krishna's lineage of Guru Parampara, Prabhupada comes and we accept Prabhupada as the spiritual master, right? So there is no one actually greater than the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And very nicely, it is also said in the scriptures that natasya karyam karanam cha vidyate, natat chamas chabhyatikas cha drishyate. So Krishna is so powerful, immeasurable, that his power is so immeasurable that he can do anything with any of his senses. Any body part of Krishna can perform any other activity of the other bodily part. For example, when you actually offer bhoga, you keep a plate of fruits or whatever wonderful things that you have cooked before Krishna. What happens? He actually just looks at it. By looking at it, he actually eats it. So Krishna's eyes can perform the activity of eating, perform the action of eating. Similarly, his ears, he can eat through his ears, he can see through his ears, he can he can see through his mouth, he can listen to his mouth. His all his senses are actually multifunctional. They can do multitasking. We are not restricted. We cannot, okay, keep a plate of bhoga before us, and Vinodji has just come back now, and Mataji will tell, okay, you please, I keep a nice plate here, and then on this plate, you is kept on the dining table. You just look at it and eat it. What will happen to Vinodji? Vinodji will just starve. You know, we cannot perform. Vinodji cannot say that, okay, I'll just by looking at the plate, I'm full now. If that power you get, no, it's really wonderful. Then you don't need Hina Mataji for cooking. So just by looking at the food stuff, you eat it. So wonderful it is. We don't have that power, but Krishna has the power. Krishna can just look at things and he can eat it. So he's multifunctional, very, very special, right? So then, why Prabhupada also is mentioning in the purport, he's saying that Krishna is so special, his body is so special, that if you can understand Krishna's birth and death, the special birth and the special appearance and disappearance, or there's no death, of course, there's no Janma also for Krishna. But if you can understand this about Krishna, then you are liberated. Janma karma chame divyam evam yo vyatti tattvataha tyaktva deham punar janma naiti mam eti swarjanaha. So, if we can understand the Janma Karma, Chame Divyam, the Divya Janma and the Divya Karma of Krishna, then what happens is Tektva Deham Punar Janma Naitima Meti Swarjana. After giving up this body, you will not enter into any other material body. Oh, what a wonderful shortcut it is. If you really want to go to the spiritual world, this is the best shortcut that we can have. If you want to get liberated from this material body, which is so limited to give us pleasure and happiness, if you want to get out of this limited body and mind, then the easiest way is you understand the Janma and Karma of Krishna, how he appears, what are his activities, how he deals with the devotees, how he deals with the asuras, the suras. If we can understand all these things about Krishna perfectly in Tattvataha, then you are liberated. Tektva deham punarjanmanayati. That's exactly what we want. Right? That's exactly why we are hearing the Bhagavad Gita. Why? Because we want to get out of this place. We want to get rid of this material body, which is so limited, right? So that is a speciality of understanding Krishna and Krishna's transcendental body, Krishna's activities, Krishna's all these things. When we understand, that is perfection. And then when we perfect ourselves in this way, understanding Krishna, then there is no question of returning back. We need not come back again to this material miserable world. This is miserable world. We don't have to come back. We don't belong to this place actually, right? So this is the very beautiful thing that we have understood. So Vinodji, you can unmute yourself. Let's chant the next verse. Today there are certain, actually, a lot of verses for us. So the next verse is verse number 44. Tasmat pranamya pranidhaya kayam
तस्मात् प्रणम्य प्रणिधाय कायम्
prasadaye twamahamishamidhyam
प्रसादये त्वामहमीशमिद्याम्
पितेव पुत्रस्य सखेव सख्युः
पितेव पुत्रस्य सखेव सख्युः
प्रिय प्रियायार्हसि देव सोढुम्
प्रिय प्रियायार्हसि देव सोढम्
Once again, तस्मात् प्रणम्य प्रणिधाय कायम्
तस्मात् प्रणम्य प्रणिधाय कायम्
प्रसादये त्वामहमीशमीड्यम्
प्रसादये त्वामहमीशमीद्यम्
पितेव पुत्रस्य सुखेव सख्युः
पितेव पुत्रस्य सखेव सख्युः
प्रिय प्रियायार्हसि देव सोढुम्.
प्रिय प्रियायार्हसि देव सोढम्.
Wonderful. Please read the translation.
It's 1 second, Prabhuji, loading.
Yeah.
You are the Supreme Lord, to be worshipped by every living being. Thus, I fall down to offer you my respectful obeisances and ask your mercy. As a father tolerates the impudence of his son, a friend the impertinence of a friend, or a husband the familiarity of his wife, please tolerate the wrongs I may have done to you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. So, Arjuna is asking for forgiveness. And why Krishna has to forgive? He has given the reason before. You please accept me as your son and please forgive me. And he's also saying here that I'm lying, I'm worshipping you, and I'm just falling down to offer respectful obeisances. He's just falling like a stick before Krishna. I want to fall down. Why? Because you're so supreme. And at the same time, he's giving another. level of understanding for why Krishna has to forgive, there are three levels of intimacy that is being explained here by uh, Arjuna. What is that? Piteva putrasya sakheva sakyuhu priya priya priyayasi. So very nice. What are these things now? So three levels of intimacy is explained. The first level is the father and the son. The father forgives the impudence of the son, right? And then the second level of intimacy is just like a friend forgives another friend because there is good understanding. So a friend also forgives another friend. And then there is a third level of intimacy, and that is between two loving couples. So there is Vatsalya, there is Sakhya, and there is Madhurya. So as there are, he's giving three levels of intimacy here, and there are ways of dealing between each of them is so wonderful. See, when there are two couples, they are in deep love, and in that deep love, when they're, that intimacy is so much, and there can be sometimes rash words. When there are two people in love, there can be a scope of a little inappropriate words. Sometimes a lover may call another lover as, "You're such a rascal," you know actually it's an inappropriate word. You're calling another person as a rascal. And if the same thing would have been told by somebody else, we will get offended to the core, and we will not sit quiet. We will become angry. But here, because it is being told by someone whom you love, and there is love, and somebody calls you, "You're such a rascal," you will probably even enjoy that word. Why? Because you will tolerate it, because there is love. The basis is love. And there might be another level where of dealing, when somebody is saying, "I love you," with anger. Somebody says, "I love you," he's saying, "I love you," but it is very evident that he's so angry at you, and you get disturbed when somebody says, "I love you," with full anger. You are so disturbed, and somewhere that something is wrong. And although you're speaking that you love, you're speaking about love, but it has no meaning, right? So some people express certain things, say they express love, but they really don't mean it. So when love is greater, then automatically the inappropriate words don't matter to you. When your love between two people is greater, words, wrong words, harsh words, rash words, they don't affect you. They really don't matter, because you see the heart of the person, right? You don't get bothered, you don't get bogged down. Generally, when there is love, there is trust. And when there is trust between two people, then you see the intentions beyond their actions. When there is trust between two people, right, you see the intention of that person, and you ignore the actions. It happens. So we understand and we overlook the actions, because you see the right intentions. Why? Because there is love. And because there is love, there is trust. And when there is trust, you see the intentions and not just the actions. But when there is no trust, when there is no trust between people, then there is a problem. When you don't see that trust between two people, then even if the actions are good, you will think that probably his intentions are wrong. Probably he's trying to flatter me. Probably he's trying to extract something from me. He's planning to exploit me. When there is no trust between people, the actions might be good, but you will doubt their intentions, right? It happens with most of us, because there is no trust. When there is no trust in a relationship, then what happens is, it's that relationship is like practically like walking on a landmine. In a war, when you are walking, there can be landmines anywhere, and you, by mistake, you step on a landmine, you'll be blown. Boom, you're gone. Everything is gone. So in a relationship, when there is no trust, it's practically like You're walking on a landmine. You don't know what to say, what not to say, because anything you say that can just blow off, and things will really go wrong. It's that kind of a situation when there is no trust. When the trust is low, we actually tend to suspect everything. When there is no trust, we suspect everything. But when there is actually love, then situation is very different. When there is love, we see only good actions. And that's why the people also say love is blind. Why? Because when you're in so deeply in love with someone, you actually tend to oversee everything. You don't see anything wrong, you see everything good. So why? Because typically there is care and affection, there is forgiveness. All that is there when there is love. So here, Krishna, Arjuna is saying about three levels of intimacy. He's talking about uh, Vatsalya. Of course, this Vatsalya is little different. Vatsalya is generally where you know you become a parent of Krishna and Krishna becomes a child. That is Vatsalya Rasa. But this is an opposite situation scenario where we Arjuna is addressing Krishna as father, and he's considering himself as a son. So in most of the Western religions and many other religions, you see that the Lord is considered to be as a father. Oh Almighty Lord, oh Father in heaven. We all, many of them say that they consider the Supreme Lord to be Father, and it is very much in line with our philosophy also. In our Sanatan Dharma, we also accept the Lord as our Father. So this is how Krishna has, Arjuna is giving reasons why Arjuna needs to be forgiven by Krishna. So, very nice. Right? So, Dev, you can unmute yourself. Let's chant the next verse, 45th verse. Yeah. अदृष्टपूर्वं ऋषितोऽस्मि दृष्ट्वा
अदृष्टपूर्वं ऋतिशोऽस्मि
भयेन च प्रव्यथितं मनो मे
भयेन च प्रव्यतं मनो मे
तदेव मे दर्शय देवरूपम्
तदेव मे दर्शया देवरूपम्
प्रसीद देवेश जगन्निवास.
प्रसीद देवेश जगन्निवासा
Once again, अदृष्टपूर्वं ऋषितोऽस्मि दृष्ट्वा
अदृष्टपूर्वं ऋषितोऽस्मि दृष्ट्वा
भयेन च प्रव्यथितं मनो मे
भयेन च प्रस्फुटो मनवे
तदेव मे दर्शय देवरूपम्
तदेव मे दर्शवे देवरूपम्
प्रसीद देवेश जगन्निवास.
प्रसीद देवे जगन्निवासा.
Wonderful. Please read the translation.
After seeing this universal form, which I have never seen before, I am gladdened, but at the same time, my mind is disturbed with fear. Therefore, please bestow your grace upon me and reveal again your form as the personality of Godhead, O Lord of Lords, O abode of the universe. Hare Krishna.
Yes, wonderful. So here he's saying that I'm really very glad because you showed me this very wonderful form. Actually, here in this, he's requesting now. Arjuna is requesting. What is the request? First, he requested to show the universal form. Now, he's requesting to withdraw this universal form. So, what you have shown me, O Krishna, is very unique and it's very extraordinary also because it is so wonderful. It's not a common scene. You cannot see the universal form anytime you want, just not possible. So it's a very a rare scene that he has seen. It's very extraordinary, and Arjuna is very joyful and is very happy that his friend Krishna is the supreme Lord. He's a supreme person, and he has shown him the most rarest of the form, that is the universal form. And at the same time, after seeing this universal form, Arjuna is also very afraid because he has committed so many offenses. You see, he's feeling that, oh, I've committed offenses against you. Although he need not be worried because Krishna is his friend, but he is feeling that this universal form is so fierce and have committed mistakes, blunders, against Krishna. So what will happen to me? That fear is there. He has committed offenses against Krishna. So out of that unalloyed friendship which he had towards Krishna, he is little afraid also because he called him something which is not appropriate. So thus his mind is disturbed because of fear. Now, although he had reason for fear because he has seen the Kala Rupa, the very fierce form, Arjuna need not be worried because he is ultimately the friend of Krishna. So he is saying, oh my Lord, I have seen this form, I'm happy, I'm also fearful. That is why now you please withdraw and show me your Deva Rupam. You show me your very nice divine form of Narayana. Because Narayana is a very a form which can assume any other form. This origin of Narayana form is from Krishna, but now he's asking, please show me your Narayana form. Because, uh, it is like there are so many hands, so many legs, so many faces, so many mouths. You have so many things. But Arjuna is wanting less now. He asked for more, but now he's asking for less. When we are also watching some TV, there are hundreds and thousands of channels these days. You want more and more and more channels, but you're so bugged. Now you just want one or two. You are so bugged, just one or two you want to see because you cannot really watch everything. In material conception, the more the better we feel, right? But here it is opposite because he cannot reciprocate with Krishna with this universal form. How can he reciprocate if he wants to offer some fruits and flowers and patram pushpam phalam toyam he has to do? How will he do patram pushpam phalam toyam to this such universal form? He cannot reciprocate. We cannot reciprocate with the universal form. That's why Arjuna is saying, oh my Lord, please, this is a very humongous form. You please come to the normal, so that I can express my love to you in a nice way. So you please simplify your form. So that is the request that Arjuna is making in this particular verse. So now, with this Narayana form, this four-handed form, Chaturbhuja form, is very unique. Unique in the sense he generally in this Chaturbhuja he holds four things: Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma. There are Shankha, Chakra, Gada, and Padma. And based on the position of the Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma in these four hands, the Narayana form is differently named. For example, Shankha Chakra, if it is in left hand, it is in right hand. Shankha is on the left hand, Chakra is on the right hand. So then it is called a certain name. But right hand, if you have the Shankha and then the Chakra on the left hand, or on the lower left hand and lower right hand, upper left hand and upper right hand. So based on the positions of these different Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma in the different hands of Lord Narayana, he is addressed, he is called as by different names. Achyuta, Pradyumna, Aniruddha. So like that, different names are called based on the positions of these four things, right? So very interesting. So this is a request that he has made. Now let's go to the next verse. Hina Mataji, you can unmute yourself. Let's chant the next verse. And that is verse number 46. Kiritinam Gadinam Chakrahastam.
Prabhuji, whom have you told to recite?
You can recite. You can recite.
Okay, okay, sir.
Let's do that once again. Kiritinam Gadinam Chakrahastam.
Kiritinam Gadinam Chakrahastam.
Ichchami tvam drashtumaham tataiva.
Ichhami tvam drashtum aham tathaiva.
Tenaiva रूपेण चतुर्भुजेन
तेनैव रूपेण चतुर्भुजेन
सहस्रबाहो भव विश्वमूर्ते.
सहस्रबाहो भव विश्वमूर्ते.
Once again, किरीटिनं गदिनं चक्रहस्तं.
किरीटिनं गदिनं चक्रहस्तम्.
इच्छामि त्वां द्रष्टुमहं तथैव.
इच्छामि त्वां द्रष्टुम् अहं तथैव.
तेनैव रूपेण चतुर्भुजेन.
तेनैव रूपेण चतुर्भुजेन.
सहस्रबाहो भव विश्वमूर्ते.
सहस्रबाहो भव विश्वमूर्ते.
Wonderful. Please read the translation.
O universal form, O thousand-armed Lord, I wish to see you in your four-armed form, with helmeted head and with club, wheel, conch, and lotus flower in your hands. I long to see you in that form. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So now this is again the further request is being more specific in this 46th verse. He is saying that now you have, oh universal form. He's directly addressing the universal form. He's saying, I've seen your thousands of hands now, but now you please come to the four-handed form. Huh? So Prabhupada is also saying in the purport, is saying in the Brahma Samhita how it is stated that Rama Dimurti Shukala Niyamena Tishtan Nana Avataram Akarod Bhuvaneshu Kintuhu. So there are multiple forms, unlimited forms are there. Thousands of forms are there. Just like, the waves in the ocean. There are so many. Can we sit and count the number of waves that are coming in the ocean? It's just not possible. How many waves can you count? You can, throughout the day, we will miss the count. So many, we cannot count. Even if you count, or if you are able to count the number of waves on the ocean, we will not be able to count the number of avatars or the forms of the Lord. They are so innumerable. So it is just difficult to understand Lord Krishna. He is very, very limitless, right? He can take forms like Rama, Narasimha, Narayana, etc. So many forms he can take, unlimited forms he can take. And that is why he's saying now, you have shown me this universal form. Please come and show me now your four-handed form. It is also why four-handed form, because everybody knows that four-handed form is Narayana. Narayana means Lord, the Supreme Lord. Most people accept Narayana as the Supreme Lord. So here, many people think that Krishna is two-handed. He's a normal human being. He's not a Narayana. They don't consider him as God. But now Arjuna is asking him to show Narayana form. Why? Because it is also to convey a message to the world that those people who think that Krishna is just a mere human, a mortal, like all of us, it's a misconception. No, the same Krishna is also Narayana. Because that same Krishna is now showing the universal form, and now he's also going to show the four-handed Narayana form. Because many people accept Narayana as the Lord. So here, for them, this is instruction that Krishna and Narayana, there is no difference. Okay? Next verse. So Dev, you can unmute yourself.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Now, after requesting, here the Lord is going to speak. Krishna is going to speak. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha
Shri Bhagavan Vacha
Maya Prasannena Tavarjunedam
Maya Prasannena Tavarjunedam
Rupam Param Darshitamatma Yoga
Rupam Param Darshitam Atma Yoga
Tejomayam Vishwamananta Adyam
Tejomayam Vishwam Anantamadyam
Yanme Tvadanena Nadrishtapurvam.
Yanme Tvadananyena na
Once
Drishtapurvam
again, Sri Bhagavan Uvacha
Shri Bhagavan Vacha
Maya Prasannena Tavarjunedam
Maya Prasannena Tavarjunedam
Rupam Param Darshitamatma Yoga.
रूपं परं दर्शितमात्मयोगात्
तेजोमयं विश्वमनन्तमाद्यम्
तेजोमयं विश्वमनन्तमाद्यम्
यन्मे त्वदन्येन दृष्टपूर्वम्.
यन्मे त्वदनन्येन न दृष्टपूर्वम्.
Wonderful. Please read the translation.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "My dear Arjuna, happily have I shown you by my internal potency this supreme universal form within the material world. No one before you has ever seen this uh, primal form, unlimited and full of glaring effulgence." Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So now the focus is shifted to Krishna, and Krishna is actually, in a way, he's teasing Arjuna. He's saying, "Oh, Arjuna, you asked for this universal form. You asked me to show universal form, and I showed you, and now you are fearful. You want to see it or you don't want to see it. You know, it is not so easy to see this form. It's such a wonderful form it is. You are the first person to see something like this. People who, after reading Vedas and doing so much of tapasya extra, still cannot see such a form. But Arjuna is saying, no, no, I am afraid. You please come to normal. He is totally fearful. Arjuna is thinking, please, I don't want to see this universal form now anymore. But Krishna is teasing him. Arjuna, you wanted to see this, and now you are saying you're afraid. Why are you afraid? You see, because this is such a powerful form. You are the first one to see, and no one before has ever seen this. So why don't you look and enjoy this? But Arjuna is saying, no, I'm fearful. Just imagine, you're watching a horror movie all alone. You're sitting and you're watching a horror movie, and there's a ghost that is moving around in that, and you're so fearful. You're all alone in a dark room. You're sitting and you're watching a horror movie, and suddenly, when you are so much taken aback and you're so fearful, because sometimes the scenes are really creepy. You get really fearful, and you're watching that all alone, and you're so fearful. You just want to come out of that situation, because you feel that as if the ghost is right there before you, because you've got into that kind of a fearful nature. And then, to come out of that, what you're doing is you take the remote control, and you want to change the channel immediately. But then you imagine, that moment, that mobile, I mean the remote itself, freezes. If the remote freezes during that time, what will happen to us? Your spine will get frozen, isn't it? Because it's such a fearful situation that you will freeze to death. That kind of a situation, Arjuna is seeing that. He's saying, enough, I'm so afraid, please, I want to change the channel. And Krishna is like, no, you watch this continuously. That kind of a situation he is in. So Arjuna wants to take the remote and change it, but Krishna is saying, don't change, you watch it. So it is a very fearful situation, very fearful situation. Right? So now let's see what further he is going to say. So Vinodji, you can unmute yourself and let's chant the next verse also. And the next verse is, I think today we'll have another verse after this. Yeah. न वेद न वेदयज्ञाधयनेन दाने
न वेदयज्ञ यवनेर्दाने
न च क्रियाभिर्न तपोभिरुग्रही
न च क्रियाभिर्न तपोभिरुग्राहि
एवं रूपः शक्य अहं निलोके
एवं रूप शक्य अहं निलोके
दृष्टुं त्वदन्येन कुरु प्रवीर.
दृष्टुं तदने कुरु प्रवीरा
Once again, न वेदयज्ञाध्ययनेर्न दाने
न वेदयज्ञेन धाने
न च क्रियाभिर्न तपोभिरुग्रहीः
न च क्रियाभिर्न तपोभिरुग्राहि
एवं रूपः शक्य अहं निलोके
एवं रूप शक्यहं निलोके
दृष्टुं त्वदन्येन कुरु प्रवीर.
Drishtum tadnamve kuru pravira.
Wonderful. Please read the translation.
O best of the Kuru warriors, no one before you has ever seen this universal form of mine. For neither by studying the Vedas, nor by performing sacrifices, nor by charity, nor by pious activities, nor by severe penances can I be seen in this form in the material world. Hare Krishna.
Yes, thank you very much. So, see here, it is stated that again he's reiterating and he's saying, Krishna is saying that this is a very divine form. And divine means what? Godly. And unless one attains the status of divinity, divinity as a demigod, she cannot have any divine vision. So, people with divine qualities only will have that divinity within them and that divine vision. And those who have that divine vision, those are the ones who can see this universal form. Right? This is exactly what happened to Arjuna. Arjuna could not, he asked for the universal form, but Krishna had to give him that divine, Divya Chakshuhu was given to him. And all the devatas who have that divine vision, why they have got the divine vision? Because they have adopted a lifestyle of divinity. And what is that lifestyle of divinity? That lifestyle is nothing but they are the great devotees of Lord Vishnu. All the devatas are the great devotees of Lord Vishnu. Vishnu Bhaktah Smritodaivaha. So they are the greatest devotees of the Lord Vishnu. Very great devotees. All the devatas are not ordinary, right? So we or one can have vision of this divine form only with divine eyes. And otherwise, without divine vision, we cannot become divine. Divine vision is given only to those who are having divine qualities. So here many important words are explained. Veda yagna dhyayanehi, which refers to studying the Vedas, the Vedic literatures, and the subject matter of different sacrifices, how to perform yagna. All these are explained in the Vedas. Veda yagna, it is called Veda yagna. What is Veda yagna? Veda yagna means studying the scriptures. Veda refers to all kinds of Vedic scriptures, the four Vedas, Rig, Yajur, Atharva, Samaveda, and there are so many Puranas, 18 Puranas are there, there are Upanishads are there, then the Vedanta Sutras are there. So we can study them all at home or going to the Gurukula and study and understand these things. There are so many Vedic scriptures. There are something called as Kalpa Sutras, there are Mimamsa Sutras. There are unlimited studying material that Ved Vyasa has given to all of us that we can study and study and study. One lifetime is just not enough to study all these so many scriptures that he has given, right? So, there are so many things for studying all the different types of sacrifices. We need to study the Vedas. But because in Kali Yuga we cannot study all these things, Bhagavad Gita alone is enough. And Bhagavad Gita Yagna is what we are doing right now. And along with this Bhagavad Gita Yagna, we are also performing another Yagna, and that is Japa Yagna. Right? And then Krishna, another word is being used here, Danaha, Danahi. It refers to the charity given to the right people. Brahmanas and Vaishnavas, when they are given dana, that is going to come back to you in thousand folds. So you need to give charity, but you need to give charity to the right person, right people. Just recently, yesterday, there was one devotee, she called me and she said, Prabhuji, all these people during Ganesh Chaturthi, they come and ask for chanda and we give them this money. And after that program, when they're going for Visarjan, they drink and they smoke and they are totally intoxicated. What kind of a donation it is? So it is not donation. So better to give some rice grains and other things so that they at least cook and utilize it. But if you give them money, then you know what's the situation. They simply drink and they spend that money for all intoxication, which is not right. That is not charity. You are thinking that you're giving charity, giving some dana to Ganesha, but then unfortunately that is been misutilized. So we need to give charity to only to right people who are totally absorbed in transcendental activities, those who are engaged in devotional service. Charity should be given to Vaishnavas. Then again, there is also mentioned that Agnihotraha. So pious activities means Punya Karma refers to Agnihotra. Every time Grahastha is supposed to every day, every single day, a Grahastha is supposed to perform Agnihotra Yagna. What is Agnihotra Yagna? Because there are Panchashuna Yagna, it's also called. Panchashuna Yagna means we are disturbing the nature, the Prakriti, for our own sense gratification. Day in and out, we are actually utilizing so many things from the nature. We are indebted to so many things. We are indebted to rishis, we are indebted to the silkworms, we are in cows, we are indebted to so many living entities, and that is how we are supposed to perform yagna, Agnihotra yagna. So that is also mentioned here. And then uh, acceptance of bodily pain. When you voluntarily accept certain bodily pain, for example, Ekadashi. Or Ekadashi, what are you doing? We are voluntarily accepting certain bodily discomfort of not eating. So what happens? That is tapasya. So when you perform certain tapasya, Krishna is pleased. So one can perform all these things by accepting some bodily penances, giving charity, reading the Vedas. But unless you become a devotee like Arjuna, it is not possible to see Krishna's divine form, this universal form. You may do tapasya, you may do charity, you may do a lot of things, but unless you actually become a devotee like Arjuna, you cannot get this divine form, divine vision. You cannot have this vision of this divine form. So many followers of the pseudo incarnation. There are so many Kalki Bhagwans these days in the market, in the spiritual market, that their followers they claim, oh, this is Kalki Bhagwan, this is Bhagwan, this is that Bhagwan. And when you ask them to show universal form, first of all, they cannot show universal form. But then, even if their followers claim that we have seen the universal form, it is simply unacceptable. Why? Because they themselves are not great devotees of Krishna. So there is no question of them seeing the universal form, because unless we become the devotees of Krishna, we cannot see the universal form. So this should be very clearly understood by all of us. Okay, so let's again chant. So Dev, you can unmute yourself. Let's chant another verse for today. So today is another verse, and that is verse number 49. माते व्यथा मा च विमूढ़ भाहो
माते व्यथा मा च विमूढभावो
दृष्ट्वा रूपं घोरमिद्रन्ममेदम्
दृष्ट्वा रूपं घोरम् ममेदम्
व्यपेतभिप्रीतमनः पुनस्त्वम्
व्यापेतभिः प्रीता मनः पुनस्त्वम्
तदेव मे रूपमिदं प्रपश्य.
तदेव मे रूपम् इदं प्रपश्य
Once again, मा ते व्यथा मा च विमूढबाहो
माते व्यथा मा च विमूढभावो
दृष्ट्वा रूपं घोरमिद्रन्ममेदम्
दृष्ट्वा रूपं घोरम् इदृन्ममेदम्
व्यपेतभिप्रीतमनः पुनस्त्वम्
व्यपेतभिपीत प्रीतमनः पुनस्त्वम्
तदेव मे रूपमिदं प्रपश्य.
तदेव मे रूपमिदं प्रपश्य.
Wonderful. Please read the translation.
You have been perturbed and bewildered by seeing the horrible feature of mine. Now let it be finished. My devotee, be free again from all disturbances. With a peaceful mind, you can now see the form you desire. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So this is very nice. So here in this concluding verse for today's session, saying that Krishna is saying that you have been very perturbed and bewildered because you have seen a very horrible form, and you have seen this horrible form where you have seen everybody dying and getting crushed between the teeth, right? But now I want to free you from all that disturbances. You become very peaceful. With a peaceful mind, you can now see the form that you desire. Why that was very horrible form? The reason that was horrible form because, see, Arjuna was worried. In the beginning of the Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna was worried about killing Bhishma, Drona, because they were all very worshipable. Just now we just now told that how a father is worshipable by a son. Now, what to speak of a grandfather? He is even more worshipable, right? A Drona, a spiritual master, is also very worshipable. But he was afraid, worried about killing them. But Krishna said that you need not be afraid because that killing is already done by me. I have already killed all of them. Why I have killed? Because the sons of Dhritarashtra and this Bhishma, this Drona, all of them were quiet when Draupadi was getting insulted in the Sabha. So, when all that was happening, when Draupadi was being insulted, when they forgot their true dharma, that very day they were all killed by me because they neglected their duty, they neglected their dharma. They should be killed, and I have killed them, and I'm showing it to you. You don't have to kill them. You don't worry because I've already killed them. You just become an instrument. That's it. Right? So now Krishna has told that I have killed them, I have shown you all this thing, and I know that you are very horrified by seeing all these ghastly forms. Now I'm going to show you that form which you desire. So actually, devotee is not interested in universal form, because it's so ghastly. He cannot relate with it. He cannot relate with Lord in that universal form. So the best way to reciprocate with the Lord is to see him in the two-handed form. To see him in that two-handed form is the most easiest way to worship the Lord. But that is the pure devotees. A little devotees who are having some material desires, and there are some people who worship Narayana. They have a little different bhava. They are also worshipping the Supreme Lord, the four-handed form. But the two-handed form is worshipped by the Brajavasis. They don't want to even accept the Chaturbuja form. Chaturbuja form is for all official devotees. For unofficial or those casual devotees, or rather, you should say, most intimate devotees, that is the two-handed form. That is gopis. That's why gopis don't like the four-handed Chaturbuja form. They like only Krishna, two-handed form. They don't even want to see Vishnu. If Vishnu comes in before them, they say, Vishnuji, namaste, Hare Krishna, Hari Bol. We have Krishna. We have to play with him. So that is the mood of the gopis. So they don't want to see the four-handed form. They are interested in the two-handed form of Krishna. Right? So now the next verse onwards, Sanjaya is going to speak. The focus is going to shift from Bhagwan, Krishna, it's going to be shifted to Sanjaya. And Sanjaya is going to further explain what Arjuna saw. What did actually he see and understood? That we will understand in the next session. If you have any questions related to today's, uh, you can please ask any questions if you have any. Any questions? And by the way, next session we will be completing chapter 11. So we will that will be the last session, and we are going to then further move to the 12th chapter. 12th chapter is devotional service. It's very very amazing bhakti yoga, which is very important for all the devotees. 12th chapter is about devotional service. It's the smallest. It's a short chapter, just 20 verses, but it is going to be very very special. Okay, so that we will be there are so many beautiful things to be understood in the 12th chapter. So next session will be the last session for 11th chapter, Vishwarupa Darshana. All right, so very nice. We will discuss more in the next session. Until then, please take care, and we will see you soon again in the next session. Please take care. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Vinodji.
Prabhu.